wrestling buddies want to be your buddies.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, buddy. Buddy!
You got me mad now.
As we are a week removed from the largest WrestleMania in history and the dust is beginning to settle, have no fear, we got all the brooms you need on the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast right here on AfterBuzz TV. If you're listening on Podcast One or you're watching on YouTube, welcome in from all over the world.
Don't you touch my potted plants.
We will not mess with the decorum anywhere in your house, in this studio, or anywhere we go. Let's get right into a big show as always. We have two special guests. We have none other than the newest sensation to the WWE main roster, Apollo Crews. And we also have a friend of ours, actually a longtime friend of Scott Narvis here, that is from England, and we got to hang out with him at WrestleMania. You know him as Wrestling Memes. He's a hilarious guy that just creates really funny memes that go viral online, and he's a lovely fellow, so we have an interview with him as well.
Tom Anstey.
Tom Anstey. There he is.
Mr. Wrestling Memes himself.
Mr. Wrestling.
From the UK.
That's right. Mr. Wrestling _memes himself.
The Apollo Crews of the internet.
Well, that's a stretch, but it's a...
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving him nicknames.
You know, it's okay, though, because they're both in the same show. It works. It works for me. You know what I mean?
I do.
Hey, yo.
Let's get into it. We are at WrestlingBuds on Twitter. We are Facebook.com/WrestlingBuds. Please go to the iTunes page, rate us 5 stars, write us a nice review. Do it as you're listening to this, because why not? You could do both. You could multitask.
Yeah.
You know?
I have trouble with that.
Well, that's fine. Let's get into the intros here.
You said you've zoomed and other things before.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get
Every
into
dog
it.
has his day.
I am at Jay Quasto on the Twitter. That man right there wearing the Hey Yo t-shirt. He is the host of the Curtain Jerks podcast and the 16 Bits podcast. He's also one of us. You can find him on Twitter at Curtain Jerks. He's Scott Narver.
Scott Narver, he's Scott Narver. Curtain Jerk Compadre, he's always there to save the day. Scott Narver, he's Scott Narver.
Hello, sir.
Well, it's a very clicky episode, I must say.
Why?
Number one, I'm wearing this Hey Yo shirt, which I had my second interaction with Scott Hall this WrestleCon.
You did?
Yeah. I've gotten two sweets from the guy.
Really?
Because right before the ROH show, I was in a daze of, no sleep, very tired, and just sort of standing there, and I hear, "Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
That's a nice shirt, man."
What? Bullshit.
No.
What shirt were you wearing?
True
That
shit.
one?
This shirt right here. And then he was walking by, and then walked by and gave me a little too sweet.
That's amazing.
It's pretty sweet. Or the bullhorns, as we say behind the scenes.
Bullhorns.
Bullhorns.
Bullhorns, everyone.
And thanks to Shawn Michaels for Mr. Sexy Boy himself for singing my theme song.
I was just going to say, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
Okay, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, he sang his own theme song, as you know.
I know that.
He's just a sexy boy. He's just a boy toy.
Right.
Well, this was one of the other songs he sang.
Did he compose the music?
Yeah, he composed the music. He sang the song.
Wow.
Janetti was in the studio.
More of a B track, I would imagine, kind of a B track.
B-side. It's a B-side.
Yeah, it's a B-side. Sometimes the B-side doesn't get played
It's
as
the
often.
it's the hidden track.
Yeah, it's
There you
hidden.
go.
Well,
It's a
you're
hidden
lucky.
B-track.
You're lucky you found it.
Very lucky.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
The other man in studio, he is the pride of Houston, Texas, the pride of TCU. You can find him on Twitter at CRice17. He's Chuck Rice.
He's a man.
Yo.
How's it going, Johnny?
It's going. You're all Houstoned out.
Hey, man, it's a home opening series. Gotta
Oof.
support the Astros. Looking forward to being in Houston in a couple weeks, catching a game.
There you go. You're wearing a sweet shirt.
I got the shirt y'all brought me back. Thank you, Mr. Rutledge.
There you go.
I know you can't see it, but,
Well, that's okay.
You can see it when you watch the show tomorrow.
Why don't you let me introduce him, and then you can respond to your T-shirt.
Sorry,
he is calling to us from Washington, D.C. He is the host of Dishing on Movies. He's always vest for business. Find him on Twitter at TheWalkingDale. That's because he's Dale Rutledge.
I got a puppy. I got a puppy?
Bad news.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on, fellas?
Not much, man. Just we got a big show ahead of us, don't we?
Show, no, let's get it started. I'm back in D.C.
Big
It
shows
is way
in front
less
of us?
exciting than WrestleMania or Harry Potter or Los Angeles, so let's just cut to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, nothing new to talk about our nation's capital, is there?
Well, hold
It's
on.
the start of baseball season, so it's made my neighborhood a complete mess. But other than that, no, not a lot.
Okay, Chuck has something to say. Go ahead.
Is your neighbor enjoying that mess of the baseball season?
Oh yeah, is your neighbor a baseball fan or more of a wrestling fan, Dale? Have you asked him?
I haven't, I haven't really discussed sports with him yet. I'll have to check in on his favorite.
You know what I hear? Was he like, I hear this stadium? Is that the wrestling over there?
Why is everybody stealing? Why is everybody stealing bases? Are we at war?
Why do they promote crime and petty theft?
Pick up your balls.
Have you ever caught a baseball at a wrestling match?
Yeah, did they body slam baseballs? What happens?
I like the peanuts.
Now, is it a Roman umpire?
Oh, no.
I don't understand. They both wear armor of some kind.
What's an empire? Is that like in Italia over there? What's going on?
Do I have to make reservations for the baseball?
Yeah, will they just steal my baseballs? Do I have to make a reservation for that? Dale, now, why is your dog named after liquor? You tell me. Dale?
He's a very inquisitive fellow. He's very inquisitive.
He's very
he's a
inquisitive.
nosy neighbor.
He's a very nosy neighbor. I can't wait to hear what he thinks about the first week of baseball season. My God. I mean,
oh, yeah.
Oh, hell's gonna break loose.
I'll be sure to ask him. Guys. Don't worry.
Good.
I'll get to the bottom of this.
Well, I bet you will. All right, here we go. First off, I just want to say this. This past weekend, we had a big event for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and it was called the Coastline Clash. It was our first one we've ever had. It was a huge event of the spring. We're about 250 to 260 episodes in. It was one of the greatest events we've ever had. I can't even tell you how fun it was. It was a packed house. The crowd was awesome. And all the matches were cool. And it's going to be such good TV in a couple weeks.
Were there some surprises?
There were a couple surprises, and just everyone brought their A game. I mean, every wrestler that was involved. We had a couple of surprises, like I said, and we had a title
Can we
change
have a
hands. No, I don't want to give a hint per se.
Give us a hint.
Can we give
A clue.
Put it this way: we had
a tease.
We had every title on the line. And a very good friend of ours, some may know him as the Boxcar Superstar. He had a very big moment.
Oh.
And it was awesome to be there, and it was an honor to call the matches. So please follow at CWF Hollywood. Make sure you watch it on KDOC at Saturdays at 4 p.m. if you're in Los Angeles. Otherwise on U2 America. And starting this week, we're going to be on the Fight TV app, the one that JR always talks about.
Nice.
And we have good lighting.
And you'll have Burger King?
I don't know
like
about
it'll
Burger
just
King.
shoot out Burger King into your mouth?
Not going to do that.
Oh.
But we have good lighting.
All right. Well, I like this Fight TV network thing.
Yeah, it's really cool. So download the Fight TV app, FITE app, and starting, I believe, on Thursday, you can actually watch all the newest episodes of Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on your phone or whatever smart device you have.
What about the old episodes?
I don't know how far back the episodes on Fight TV go. We're working all that out. There's going to be another way that you can do it. But Fight TV will have all the most updated episodes, which I'm really excited for, because this event, it was easily one of the top events we've ever had. It was just such a pleasure to be there and call the matches, and I'm really proud of everyone involved. So it was great. So felt good. Other than that, hey, we got our t-shirts. Go to prowrestlingtees.com/wrestling compadres if you want to pick one up. And before we get to the news, does anyone have anything else important to toss out there? Otherwise, I'm about to get this live band in here.
Well, I'd say it's also a good gift, those t-shirts.
Good gift.
You know, birthdays, bar mitzvahs.
Bat mitzvahs.
Yeah, all of them. All the mitzvahs.
Sure. Dale?
I'm just backing away from the phone for the music, so let me know when it's done.
I'm sorry, the band didn't tell me they were going to storm in. You know they're mice, so they're tiny.
I think I hear Dale's neighbor banging on the wall in his apartment.
Dale!
Turn that down.
Dale, are you recording again? What's that mean?
You just fell for that carrot and that snare trap, Dale.
Are there mice in your place, Dale?
Do they give away bat mitzvahs at the baseball game? Because I'll go, if so. I'll go.
Oh, no. What is that a bat? Like, do you give away bats at bat mitzvahs? What happens? I don't know. Well, your neighbor sure has
What's
a lot
the news,
of...
Johnny?
Your neighbor sure has a lot of grit, and you know who else does? John Cena! Because John Cena's new show, American Grit, debuts on Fox this Thursday. Worst segue ever. I know, Scott. Don't look at me.
He just eats grits the whole show?
Yeah, I love grits.
It would have been funny if you would have just played the John Cena like you're getting rickrolled by Cena.
Trust me, I wish I had that soundbite. I'd play it nonstop for an hour. I do love jalapeno cheese grits. Those are my favorite.
Yeah?
But this is
Is
American
that
Grit.
episode 2?
It's going to be all of episode 2. April 14th at 9 p.m. That's this Thursday. And Dale, I don't know a ton about the show. I believe it's a lot of military or ex-military competing in a lot of physical competitions, and Cena is the host.
Yeah, Gina's hosting, and I guess they have 4 different teams, and they're all representing different parts of the Army or the Navy or whatever,
Nice.
different parts of the military in general, I guess. And I have zero ideas about it, but I guess we'll find out on Thursday. I'm definitely curious. I don't know how committed I'll be to it, but I definitely want to at least check it out.
I'm sure he'll do a very good job as host.
It sounds like a show The Rock
Yeah.
passed on.
Well, I mean, it's probably similar to what was it called? The Hero?
Yeah.
Only this is military, and hey, I support anyone from the military doing anything like this, so hopefully it does very, very
Exactly.
well. Speaking of doing well, we got 10 new people that are having a great week as WWE announced 10 new signings, including Mikey Nichols and Shane Hayes, who we reported last week, TDMK.
Machine Gun Kelly?
No, not Machine Gun Kelly's already on the main roster.
Yeah, that's who you just said, though. TDMK. Machine Gun Kelly.
I don't think those letters work out.
I think it does, Johnny.
Yeah?
Pretty sure that's Machine Gun Kelly. Going back after Kevin Owens, get some revenge.
You sure?
Pretty sure.
Okay, just checking. So 10 new signings. They range from an ex-pro football player to fitness model to bodybuilder to I guess a couple of indie wrestlers who have been around a little bit. Someone who trained with Rikishi at Nox Pro. So definitely a wide array of people.
Did Tatanka finally get a contract?
I don't know, but hey, he was at the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
So good for him.
I think he should be back on the roster.
I would love to see that.
I think it's time.
Who wouldn't? So congrats to everyone and best of luck because it's going to be a very difficult road to NXT, but looks like they signed some really good people, so that's pretty awesome. Dale, here's something I know you're excited about. Will Ospreay has signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. He made his debut just this past couple of days at Invasion Attacks, which I was at a year ago, which I can't believe it's been a year since I was there. But yeah, he debuted against Kushida and actually went for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. He didn't win it, unfortunately. There's actually never been a Brit to hold that title, but he was the first Brit to wrestle for it in like 21 years or something like that. So
Wow.
pretty awesome debut for a 22-year-old guy.
Yeah, man, talk about a natural. Only 22 years old. Whew.
I mean, if you get a chance to watch that match at all, you should definitely check it out. He does some amazing moves, and Kushida is right there in step with him the whole time. And actually, Yoshitatsu came back, made his return after 18 months since that injury where he broke 2 of his vertebrae through AJ Styles' Clash. But he also came back on that same show. So it was just a solid show all the way around.
Wait, so did he actually wrestle?
Yeah, it was the
Wow.
six-man tag, or what I think they call the Never Open. Never is an acronym for something that I can't ever remember.
Sure.
But Never Open Heavyweight Championship. It's like a three-man tag team belt, and so yeah, he actually won the belt in that match. So
Yoshi
he is
did?
now a champion again.
Wow.
Wait, Yoshi did.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's amazing. Congratulations to him.
That's amazing
Yeah,
that
it
you
was
got
a great,
to
it was a
use
great
something.
match, and they protect him a little bit. He's not in the ring a ton, but he does get some time in there, and they make him look solid. And you could tell he gets a little emotional at the end of the match when the 3 of them are holding up their new belts, and it's just good to see him back. I mean, so many people said that he would never be able to return, and so I mean, it's just good on him, you know.
I mean, I don't know the extent of his neck injury, but that's always dicey territory. So
I mean, two broken vertebrae is nothing to mess with. That's
Nope.
for damn sure.
No, well, good for him. I mean, I hope he has a great run, and obviously he's beloved all across the world. So good on him.
Yeah.
Speaking of beloved all across the world, Ricochet says he will not be performing in the Global Cruiserweight Tournament. He actually took it to Twitter because, WWE is going to be doing this awesome Cruiserweight tourney throughout the summer, I guess.
It's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be great. And a lot of people assume Ricochet, but he put all the rumors to rest. He's like, no, not going to do it. Sorry, move on. Enjoy. And
I don't think anybody I would presume anyone from Lucha can do this because they can do other shows, but they can't do other televised shows. So I wouldn't think that anybody from Lucha Underground is able to participate if they're returning for their contracts for Lucha.
Right. The contracts are pretty exclusive. From what I understand, it's a little bit more lax than it was last year, but you're still not supposed to do anything that's nationally televised, from what I understand.
Yeah, like Ricochet defended. He actually was the tag team champion with Seidel in New Japan. They actually lost those belts at Invasion Attack, but so they're able to do stuff if it's international or not televised. But yeah, nothing stateside.
There you go. And last but not least, of course, the legendary Blackjack Mulligan passed away this past week. He's, of course, the grandfather to Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. Just an old school legend who was not an easy person to face because he was a badass. He was a powerhouse, and everyone loved him, especially, as he got older and people got to know him a little bit. Just a really, really good dude. And, rest in peace to him. But he had a hell of a run.
Yeah, great career for that guy, and yeah, like you said, just everybody has really fond memories of him. So just condolences out to the family and all that love him.
Yeah, paved the way for a lot of people, and so Blackjack Mulligan, we salute you, sir. Rest in peace, and that is your Slamcast news. All right, gentlemen, what do you say? We got 2 interviews. Why don't we just jump right in to the newest member? Well, I guess we could say he's the newest member of the main roster.
Sure.
I mean, a couple other people joined around the same time, but
right. But he's a marquee guy.
Yeah, he's a marquee guy, and he was nice enough to sit down with us at WrestleMania. Dale, how much of a pleasure is it just to be around this guy? Just happy individual.
So likable. Like I don't know what they're going to do with this character. So far, he's just kind of getting to do in-ring stuff. But I mean, this guy, you want to be his best bud. So I hope they find something good for him and give him a good storyline because I think he could do so much with the company.
I don't think there's many better athletes than him, not only in pro wrestling but across the globe. I mean, you look at guys like him and Ricochet. They stand out to me as some of the most athletic people I've ever seen inside of a ring.
Absolutely, and he has so much girth too. It's like it is kind of mind blowing that somebody like this can move his body in such a way. I mean, it's really a feat to see him in action.
Yeah, it really is, and we had a great time with him at WrestleMania Radio Row, and so we got to sit down with him. So right now we're going to take you to our interview with Apollo Crews. Enjoy. All right, let's get right into it. We are here with NXT superstar, world-renowned Apollo Crews. How are you, sir?
How's it going, guys? Everything good?
Man, has the sun come up yet? Who knows?
I woke up, man. I was so surprised I didn't just turn my alarm off and go back to sleep.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. I'm here, excited. The sun will be up soon, and we're gonna shine like stars tonight.
That's right. Speaking of which, let's take it back a year ago.
Yep.
This has probably been the most eventful year of your life.
For sure, definitely. A year ago, I was actually wrapping up my independent career in San Jose. I did my last show that weekend, and I was on my way to NXT. It's crazy because I look at it now a year later, and it just doesn't seem like it's real. It's been crazy. From Brooklyn to England, now we're at WrestleMania. It's a couple of takeovers at Full Sail. It's just nuts. It gets better and better every day.
Had you been to a WrestleMania before?
I did 2011. I was actually in extra time. Well, I didn't do anything, but 2011 in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was at WrestleMania back there. I did Raw the next day too. So it was cool to be able to see that. I hadn't actually been at WrestleMania as a fan, like in the crowd or anything yet, but I got to sit backstage and watch and see how things work. So for me, that was an awesome experience. But now being a part of it, it's even better.
Yeah, I would think a little bit better.
Yeah. It's nuts, man. It's nuts.
What are you most looking forward to for your first?
Yeah. Access is pretty cool so far. I think I didn't get to. I thought I was gonna wrestle yesterday, but I didn't. But just being in here, I walked in here and I was like, it's crazy.
We know you got a match tonight.
Yeah, I do. That is gonna be exciting because 10,000 people plus, I think it is, and
do you think he wrote you a song?
Man, I'm tired of hearing that guy sing.
Look, he was
I don't
off
want to hear him
key.
sing anymore.
He was real off key.
I don't want to tell him. I should have let him know that, should I?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear him sing anymore. I think we're finally going to get down to business tonight. Enough singing, enough of all that stuff, and I'm about the action.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, we're going to throw blows tonight, and I'm going to come out victorious.
Have you thought about beating him with a pitch pipe first? Just
I might do that, though.
knock him over the head with it.
And then harmonica it up.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I'll show my singing skills.
You're an idiot.
I mean, how do you be off key when you're whispering and singing? That's weird.
I don't get it. But
Maybe
tonight,
a scarf.
there's gonna be no singing tonight, and I'm gonna end all that, and it's gonna be a great time. And I'm super excited about it. Super excited.
And you've earned it. Let's go back to 5 years ago. You mentioned you were, an extra in Atlanta and WrestleMania and then Raw. What was that feeling like? Because, so you're there, you're happy to be there, it's an exciting experience, but when you left to go home or back to your schedule, something must have been burning inside, like, I got to get back there somehow.
It definitely was. It was, at the time I'd been wrestling, like, maybe a year or something like that, and I hadn't made any kind of name for myself. It was just something that a friend had, kind of introduced me to, and, nobody knew who I was. I didn't have any credentials, I guess you could say, so I came in there expecting. It was an interesting experience. When I left, I did have that like burning hole inside me. I was like, okay, I got a taste of that, and now I want more.
So you walked away feeling encouraged, like, this is
sure.
A possibility.
For sure, motivated too.
I just need to keep at it.
Yeah, and for me, I guess it motivated me more to travel and kind of build that name for myself, and just not take no for an answer, and then I find myself here now. So I think I took the right path and had the right mindset. I grinded hard and then just kind of kept my head down and worked. And it got me here, so I think it's all worth it. I know it's all worth it for sure.
What were you expecting, like, coming into NXT? Were you expecting you got a warm reception?
Yeah,
for sure. Was that something you kind of thought might happen, or were you afraid that how people would react?
I kind of was afraid. I didn't know, like, I know I built some kind of equity, but I didn't know I was if the WWE fans were familiar.
Like, would that
NXT,
translate?
Yeah, that translate. Or the NXT fans are familiar. I didn't know if people that watched NXT watched stuff like independent wrestling. So it was when I came out first thing at the reception I did, I was more amazed, and then kind of thrown off. I was like, whoa, wow. I didn't want to come out here expecting everybody to know who I am, and it's just like crickets. Like who's this guy? It's probably the worst guy ever.
It's so funny. Everyone says it. So we're good buddies with Austin Aries, and he told us, he goes, right before I debuted, I saw Bailey backstage. I said, Bailey, if no one reacts, just come out and give me a hug.
That'll work. That'll work. You know what I mean?
But it's crazy. Everyone thinks that. You never know.
You never know. It's you get people tweeting social media when you're going to WWE, when you're going to be NXT, all this stuff, but you don't realize that it's on on such a bigger scale, or that it translates like that, and it was amazing just having that background too. I think the transition was a lot easier than if I had not had that kind of experience.
Right.
Like that. So it was cool.
And then on top of that, you're in breaking ground and having the show in large part, around you and showcasing you on top of that. It's just great timing to be where you're at, to have the extra showcase to it. So how is it, there's one aspect of NXT every week, and then there's the aspect of doing breaking ground.
Yeah.
How does that feel to have the cameras following you all the time and watching everything that you do?
That was very interesting because I'd never ever experienced anything like that, and you naturally just kind of like at first you want to act different from the camera. It's just not used to having a camera follow you around. They'd come to my house. They follow me to the gym. I didn't know.
Weird.
It is.
Family got involved?
Yeah, my sister was there, and she's like, "What are these cameras doing?" I was like, "Yeah, they actually film us." And she's like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah." I can just tell she was. She didn't know how to react either. She never been filmed like that, but
You smell like,
yeah. Like,
You gotta make her sign an NDA. Sorry,
right. They're like, "Hey, by the way,
Speaking of which,
you gotta sign this."
Get off of Twitter. Get off.
Right. Yeah. So she, it was cool though. I think after a while, you kind of just don't really notice the cameras there, and they made that show look amazing. I think it was cool that they got to introduce us to people like that and get to see how we deal with on an everyday basis. Because not everybody knows how hard we work on a regular basis. We're in there in the performance center early in the morning until late at night. You know what I mean? And we work Monday through Saturday. We grind Sundays our only off day. I think people don't realize how hard we actually work. But when we get to do stuff like this, that hard work doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? It's all worth it at the end of the day. And I know we're all going to look back on this, and Triple H has said this many times. No matter where we go after this, whether it's to the main roster or wherever we go after this, we're going to look back at NXT, and it's going to be probably the funnest time of our lives.
Well, what's amazing about the Performance Center, it just seems like when you come on board, they say, you know what, here's the keys, show up whenever you need to, work as hard as you want to.
Right.
And that's an amazing opportunity to just have that venue.
It's cool. We're set up for success. There's no reason for failure. I think if we fail, it's on our own account. We get top of the line everything. Coaches that are with so much knowledge and are willing, that want to give it to us and help us out and want to see us succeed. And it doesn't get any better than that, especially for someone who's in this business. It doesn't get better at all. It's not at all.
Is there anybody that you buddied up with at NXT?
I got a couple good friends. A lot of them, I think they make my time there a lot funner. And, you know, it doesn't feel like work, you know, being around them. So that's a good thing, and it's.
You're doing it right.
Yeah, exactly. You know, lately I've kind of. It's funny because when we first came here, we were all hanging out a lot, man, going out and. You know, I wouldn't say partying, but it's hanging out like after the shows. And
it's Orlando.
It's busy. Yeah, it's Orlando. You know what I mean? Wow. It's Florida. We got to move to Florida, and it's cool. We weren't like it's busy, and all of a sudden we just kind of like stopped hanging out, and we all just see each other at work now. We're kind of. It'd be funny because we'd be coming back from like shows. You know, we go like Jacksonville, which is 2 hours away from Orlando, and after we stop and sit down and eat. Wherever, and all that's canceled now. Sometimes we're going to stop at a gas station and just like drive away. Oh, all right, see you guys tomorrow. You know, so
what are you doing?
It's funny how things change. Yeah, right. So what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm going to sleep. Yeah. So yeah.
That sounds real good. Right about
What are you up to Saturday? Resting?
Exactly. You know,
Bath salts?
That's what we're doing. You know, but it's funny to see stuff change like that, and we all understand. It's just because you know we put so much work into what we do, and we love what we do so much. You know. We don't take it personally, but you know, I do got some great friends there. We're really family oriented down there, and it's never a dull day. You know, it's always interesting in that place. And we have a good time.
What's your favorite thing to do to keep your body, you know, to keep it in 100% tip-top form as far as like, you know, whether it's like massage or whether it's acupuncture, is there anything that you like?
I have been actually. I started dating this girl not too long ago, and before that I was kind of like just.
Tough it out.
Invincible, yeah. But she's got me up, you know, massages, ice bath, which, oh God, that's the worst feeling ever.
Man.
The best feeling at the same time. But I do stuff like that. I'm trying to get more involved in yoga. Trying is the key word. Because just longevity is the key in this. Just sometimes changing the way I look.
Gotta get on that DDP.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Scott's actually an expert at Bikram.
Yeah. Is that when you sweat a lot?
Yeah. No, I just tend to sweat a lot as is. So that's just.
I did one yoga class at LA Fitness, man, and I'm the only guy in there. I was with my roommate, and I'm, you know, yoga. I'm starting to sweat. They're doing downward facing dog, chaturanga, all this stuff, man. And then by the end of the class, I'm drenching sweat. I look at everybody else, and they're all like, "I'm staying peaceful." I'm like, "Wait, this hurts."
This is stressful and awful.
Yeah, it started to feel good. You know, but I'm trying to get more involved in that and just. Changing the way I lift instead of lifting all heavy and all that kind of stuff, and just being smart. Yeah, for
Me too, man.
For sure, yeah.
Too heavy. Can't do it.
He lifts a bagel to his mouth, puts it back down.
Bagel sounds great.
Rest.
Rest, and then
few more
do it
reps.
again. Yeah.
Lifting for
another
rest.
bagel.
Lifting for rest. That's how we do it.
Hell yeah.
Well, congratulations on your first WrestleMania.
Thank you.
First of many, I'm very sure. And good luck tonight.
I appreciate it, guys.
Really nice.
I got one more question.
Oh yeah, of course.
Have you seen Batman v Superman?
I haven't yet, but I've heard different things about it.
That's why I want to. Okay, I
I've
want
heard
to.
different things about it.
If you had to pick a side, who would you think? Hey,
Don't
who
worry,
would you
the
think?
Marvel sit next to you.
See, the thing is, I went and watched Deadpool. Really enjoyed that.
Oh, that was
and then I
great
was like, hey,
movie. I
Batman
love
vs Superman.
that.
I'm like, this is gonna be cool. Growing up, I think the kids love Superman because you know he's invincible. But then you see, you know, Batman with all the gadgets and stuff like that. I think I'm right down the middle. You know, I want to see the movie, and I think I'll call it from there. Yeah.
Give yourself 9 hours to watch it.
9 hours. 9 hours.
Treat yourself after takeover.
Oh yeah, that's what I'll do. That and a bagel, and I'll be good.
All right, there you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. All right.
Of course.
Thank you guys.
That was Apollo Crews, ladies and gentlemen, and if you aren't already sold on this guy as a wrestler, you're definitely sold on him as a human being.
What a charmer.
Yeah. And that was our first interview. That was just after the stroke of 6 a.m. I mean, it was sleepy.
Yeah, it was sleepy time for everybody.
He was perky as all get out. He was ready for the day. I wonder if he knew that he was moving up to the main roster at that point, or if that's something they just kind of spring on guys like that.
I mean, from what I understand, it's really unpredictable. I know the whole Corbin thing. I don't think anyone knew Corbin was winning that battle royal until it happened. So,
not even Tatanka?
I don't think Tatanka I don't think he knew that he was in the battle royal.
Well, the announcer sure didn't.
I'm still having trouble computing the fact that Baron Corbin won.
He missed his cue for coming out. I don't know if that was on air, but Tatanka came out late in the game.
Yeah, did you notice? It's almost like he was late and he ran in just before the Big Show during the Big Show's music. I was like, what happened to Tatanka? It's like he ran in from the crowd.
Maybe he was just in the back and they're like, do you have your stuff? He's like, yep. Get in there.
Yeah.
Just right as it happened.
Why not? But yeah, Apollo Crews, just Man.
Yeah, I mean, I can see, you know, for that weekend that it's your first WrestleMania weekend, you got NXT, you got all this stuff happening that it's probably like Christmas. It's probably hard to sleep. So you're just amped the whole time and ready for any opportunity at any single moment. And clearly he was there and ready for everything that came about.
Yeah. And he's actually only been in the game, he mentioned in the interview, like 6 years. Because he said 5 years ago he was an extra at WrestleMania. And he had only been about a year in at the time. And it really motivated him to up his game and get better. But that's incredible. Only 6 years in, and he's already doing what he's doing.
And to up his game anymore seems impossible.
It certainly does. And we're all excited to see...
champion right there.
Yeah, without a doubt. We're all excited to see where that goes. Let's get into WWE stuff. We definitely had a surprise this week.
So come to Puerto Rico, the shining star of the Caribbean.
Not the surprise I was thinking of. But yeah.
Well, that happened too.
Is anybody going?
I'll go to Puerto Rico if someone wants to send me. I've never been.
Someone wants to send you?
I'll find some
in
hibiscus.
a box with no holes?
Yeah. I'll get some hibiscus.
I mean, hibiscus is their national flower. What more do you need to know? Just hop on a plane, fellas.
I bet your neighbor's been. Hey, where y'all got hibiscus somewhere?
These dog biscuits you keep talking about.
Yeah. They're crunchy. I thought they were supposed to smell like flowers.
They dry out your mouth but make your teeth really...
Goddamn.
Yeah. I like liver. Liver and cheese. I didn't think it'd be a good combination, but I like it.
I hope Dale's neighbor never really does listen to this show, because if he does, he will kill Dale in his sleep.
That's one guy I think we're okay with not listening.
I'm keeping my door locked either way. Let's just be safe.
There you go. Yeah, so Primo and Epico, or I don't know what they're doing, but hey, they're in Puerto Rico having a good time.
They're getting back to their roots, Johnny. They're getting back to their roots.
Yeah, which is okay. I just want to see Carlito come in and just push them both out of the way. Be like, come on,
Me
guys.
too.
That'd be great.
That would be cool.
But of course, we're talking about the Bullet Club. Doc Gallows, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, just destroying those Usos and doing it in wonderful fashion. We are wondering, when is the Bullet Club going to show up? What's going to happen when they do? What are they going to be called? We have no idea. We can't even call them the Bullet Club because I seriously doubt that's going to be a possibility.
Staples Center went crazy.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
And thankfully, they didn't tweet out that they were going to be, you know, coming out in the crowd, because they've had a history of just letting things be known.
Yes, they sure have. And
I'm pretty sure WWE's like, yeah, you're not doing that.
No.
Give us your phones.
Yeah.
Put them in a bag.
Airplane mode. Now.
Aw.
I mean, that might be why they held this off, because, you know, it was a very rumored thing that they would be there last week, and so I think maybe they pushed this back just to kind of throw people off a little bit. But I was excited to see that they are still, I mean, JBL was calling them Gallows and Anderson. Like, they're not making them rebrand themselves.
No, and I'm really glad they did wait. Last week on Raw had plenty, and this week on Raw it just really added to. We already had amazing matches, and then this event just added to it, because there's a lot of question marks. You know, it doesn't appear that they're going to have anything to do with Finn Balor, nor does it appear they're going to have anything to do with AJ Styles.
Or are they going to have anything to do with Dr. Phil?
Oh, well, I mean, that's a great question.
You know, they all look like they could ride together.
You know what, they kind of do look alike, Scotty.
I know.
That's a good call.
It's a bit of a coincidence that they're all there on the same night.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a theory online a week or two ago that really stuck with me that I liked.
Ooh, don't spoil me.
No spoilers. It was just like they would love to see the Bullet Club, you know, with Balor or AJ or whoever, and then reunite the Shield and have those guys go at it, and that would be fun.
With Dr. Phil as a special guest referee?
No.
You don't need him. Quit cheating every time you get in the ring.
Dr. Phil's listening.
He is.
So wait,
I think Dr. Phil would already have a pretty easy finisher. He could just do the filibuster.
Oh my God.
That means it's on, y'all.
Dale gets points.
Tap outs galore. They just couldn't take him
Everyone's tapping out at the wordplay of Dale.
Oh my.
You gosh.
Yeah, I was happy that they debuted. I don't know. I mean, they came, obviously they're coming in as a strong heel faction, and I don't see, I mean, AJ isn't going that route currently, and I don't see them making Finn Balor go that route either. So they may just be just the two of them for a little bit.
So you're saying the theory you heard was the Bullet Club?
Yeah, it would be a cool
with Reigns.
Yeah,
or
Shield with Reigns.
Oh, got it. Not counting Rollins and wow, huh?
There's no way they're going to reunite the Shield. They spent too much effort and time to make them all stars separately. I don't really see that happen.
Someday,
Right,
someday down the line.
and there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that WWE said will never happen that always
Right.
do. So I'm never saying never in WWE.
Well, with the reaction Roman Reigns is getting,
Oh God, man,
how did it feel in there?
I've never heard a crowd boo that loud at a wrestling event.
It's exactly what I said. We were in Texas for Raw, and I don't remember anyone. Cena's never even been booed that loudly.
Like people, it's not even like a good kind of heat. It's like we really hate you kind of heat.
Which it sucks, man, because it's not Reigns. It's just people have made their minds up. They're
And
like,
he's
we're
wrestling
not
good.
accepting it.
He
Yeah.
looks like he's lost some weight. He's moving quicker in the ring. I mean, that little phrase he keeps saying is got to go. But
What, you mean this one? Sorry, you couldn't
I
hear it
like
'cause of the
that.
booze, but
I don't like that. It's just like it sounds so rehearsed coming from him. It doesn't feel natural. I mean, besides that though, he's putting on good matches.
no, he is. Dale?
I mean, it's a problem that you have with anybody that the universe feels like you're cramming down their throat. So it's hard to change the temperature on a guy at that level who just won the championship. But you know, if they can make him just have more of this attitude, that statement that Chuck doesn't like, I mean, candor otherwise, I
true.
do feel it is the right direction to take him, because he needs more of a, well, I'm just the shit, and what are you going to do about it kind of attitude. I think that will help him out as far as his character goes. Because right now he's just very middle of the road and doesn't really feel like much of anything character-wise. Nothing about his in-ring talent. I do think he's talented in the ring, but I just feel like he needs some kind of character because he's just kind of floating in the middle right now.
Yeah, that's the thing. And, you know, he said that catchphrase, I don't know, 3 or 4 times now in the ring. And there's just, people have already made up their minds. Now, granted, there are kids, love Reigns. Of course, there's going to be. But as far as adults go, they have made up their mind.
A few Roman chants it there, but like they were just drowned out by the Boo Birds, man. It was... Wow.
It's alarming. I didn't know if it was only Texas that was going to do that, but Los Angeles certainly proved that they feel the same.
But there's still something to it. Like, it's, they're still paying for a ticket to go see,
I don't think people are paying for tickets to see Roman Reigns, though. Like, truthfully, I think there's a lot more exciting things happening on that roster that people are interested in seeing, because during the main event, whenever Roman Reigns came out there, like, you could see it had become like a new version of the bathroom break. Like, people were leaving to go up to the stands. People were, it happened.
Right, but ultimately, when it comes down to a show like WrestleMania or something like that, you pay for the main event. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what they're always going to be looking at it as. Like, you're paying to go see the main event. And someone may say, like, I'm paying to go see all these other things instead. But people still stayed and watched that. Like, if you don't like it, yes, get up and leave. Vote with your dollar. Don't watch it. Like, that's what makes a statement.
Wasn't there a lot of people that they said were leaving during the main event of Mania too?
That's happened every Mania that I've ever been to.
Yeah, they're long.
It was a 7-hour show. What are you going to do about it? Now, I do want to reference back to what Schamberger said to us a couple of weeks ago, that Roman Reigns is one of his top sellers of all the merch that he does. And he has a lot of superstars available for people to choose from. So, yeah, it's a noisy adult crowd, but I still think women and children, kind of similar to Cena, are pulling for Roman Reigns.
It's a noisy adult crowd because they're tired of buying artwork of Roman Reigns for their kids. That's why they're being noisy.
Well, it was funny when we were talking to Schamberger. There are 2 dads separately that came over with their families, and they both said the same line to him, to his wife. They said, "Did you sell out of Roman Reigns stuff, or do you have any left?"
Yeah.
Just assuming that it's gone.
Yeah.
Which means they probably had a problem in the superstore of Reigns stuff being sold out. That's what I took it as.
I mean, I feel like something's got to give with, now AJ Styles is the definite #1 contender because him and Zayn had a classic on Raw, but AJ came out on top. Something's got to give here, because if Roman Reigns is already being booed by 80% of the audience, let's just say, you put him up against AJ Styles, who has done everything to perfection since he's shown up. Those boos are going to be about 97%. So my question is, are they just going to have such an amazing match that they hope the audience says, you know what, we like you now? Or is something major going to happen?
No, I think we came across this, was it a year or 2 ago with Fastlane with Daniel Bryan? That it'll still be the resentment will still be there.
Yep.
That he's the guy. But, there's something, too, about Reigns that, like what Dale's saying about the character, that I think the catchphrase helps, if not, about being the guy. but there's still things around him that contradict his character. So, like what we had with the Rumble of him being taken out, but he walked away on his own volition and wasn't carried out on a stretcher.
Yeah.
Ducked out on the Wyatts and Brock and all that and missed that and then came back. A very heel-like tactic. He's wearing body armor, for crying out loud. Like, that's still something that reeks of, like, he needs protection and he needs something else. Like, he's cheating, essentially. But he's not the rebel Austin guy. So he has these things that contradict just a good guy.
His character hasn't evolved at all since the Shield. That's the ultimate problem. You know, you have Seth Rollins who evolved into whatever he became, which was the Weasley heel who played it well.
Damn good.
And you have Ambrose who, you know, evolved into this crazy psycho.
And he's still got work to do on it, but he's doing a damn good job right now. Him and Jericho were gold.
Right, but Reigns, the only thing that's changed about Reigns is he doesn't walk out through the crowd. Like, that's really the only thing that's changed. And that was one of the only things that people seemed to kind of dig about him at the time, because they felt like, oh yeah, he's coming through the crowd, we can slap him while he walks by, you know?
Get some butt grabs.
Then there's always one guy that's just like, in front of the camera.
And so they take that away from him, and now it's just like, well, here he is. And I mean, like, I have no problem with his matches. His matches are usually pretty good lately.
Yeah.
He's not wrestling bad.
Him and Triple H put on a great one at Mania.
I mean, they just got to give the guy some character direction. Change him up a bit. Like,
he's a guy that's just not being able to cut loose in the way that he wants to cut loose, probably because he's in a very awkward position of he's the face of the company.
Yep.
So he can't be all of these crazy things. There's all these corporate sponsors. It's all the stuff where it's like, nope, you gotta fit a mold that we need, and it's not. It's Snitsky would say it's not his fault.
Wow, good reference. Way to go, buddy.
I personally didn't walk away from Raw thinking about Roman Reigns, though. My number one thing that I was thinking about post-Raw was that Kevin Owens versus Cesaro match.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, don't forget, though, AJ Styles, Sami Zayn. That's a close 1 and 2.
Don't forget Natty Charlotte.
And Natty Charlotte. 3 amazing matches.
Listen.
And Dr. Phil going face-to-face with Ric Flair.
You're better than that. You don't need him. Quit cheating every time you get in the ring.
I actually like that part.
Let me tell you something. As loud as the boos were for Roman Reigns in there, the cheers for Natty were equally, if not more so, loud.
Oh, they were fantastic. What a great match. Ric Flair ruined it.
But Natty is over.
You know? That's what
Natty
he did.
is over, and they need to put the women's title on her sooner than later.
I don't know, man. Dale, she just won the women's title. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't see that happening personally. I mean, I thought this was a great match. They have proved themselves time and time again. This is like the third or fourth time that they have wrestled each other, and honestly, I think it gets better every time. But I love the finish on this match. What a great, smart way to have this continue at least for another week or two. And I just loved everything they did inside the ring with each other. But that finish was so smart.
Well, this better go to at least Payback. I mean, Natty deserves to be in a main event women's title match.
Mm-hmm. Natty deserves to be the women's champion.
She does. She certainly does. But, you know, Charlotte just won it. I still feel like she's going to have quite a long run with it. What do I know? But that's what I would think is going to happen.
It's great that they're building...
Yeah, it's interesting because now nobody can take Nikki's reign away from her, right? She'll always be the longest reigning Divas champion.
Sure.
Now, I think they like Charlotte enough that they would maybe... She's the inaugural, so maybe they wouldn't put the longest running on her, but I think, you know, it's going to be one of those girls. I mean, they seem to just love Sasha Banks and Charlotte and Becky Lynch, and who knows Bayley whenever she comes up. But I feel like we could see a little back and forth here with Natty, but I don't know if I see her winning the title. It would be great if she did, but I think it stays on Charlotte for a little bit.
And don't forget, you know, Natty and Charlotte, one can actually say that they kind of started this whole Divas Revolution back with that NXT match a while back. I mean, they've been...
Absolutely.
Has Natty ever been any version of the women's champion?
I thought she was
yes.
Divas champion at some point.
She definitely
was. Yeah, she was Divas champion for a little bit.
Then again, so was Alicia Fox. I mean, neither one was very long, but they both were.
What does that supposed to mean?
No, not mean at all. I'm just saying,
You're
like...
just saying it was they were also like a blip.
Yeah, they both had short title reigns, so many people would not remember, but that's the unfortunate thing for them both, really, but especially Natty in this case.
Well, all I know
Yeah.
is the crowd is behind Natty. People love her,
Yep.
and she can wrestle better than probably the majority of that roster, and that includes some of the men. So,
And I'm really impressed with her mic work these last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And hopefully the reaction just changes how things work, that the brass sees that and says, like, well, we got to keep her around in it as a major player.
mm-hmm. And on top of that match, there were 2 moments on Raw that could be picture-perfect freeze-frame photography moments. One was Cesaro's massive European twirling uppercut on Kevin Owens, and the other was AJ Styles' flying forearm that took out Sami Zayn. Both of those, oh my God. I hope there's photos of there somewhere. Because which match do you... it's hard for me to pick which one was more amazing.
I'm going AJ Sammy.
Yeah, it's a solid one. I know, Dale, you're saying Cesaro Owens?
There was just a lot of things in that match. There was such good storytelling. That springboard spinning uppercut that you're talking about was such a thing of beauty. And he probably did it in the Indies, but I can't think of Owens doing what JBL was referring to as the bullfrog splash. I can't remember him doing that on the main roster, at least, since he's been there. This was a complete 5-star match, and the crowd could not have been hotter, and what a great way to open the show also.
It really was. I would love to see what if Meltzer did not give this 5 stars, what his reasoning would be, because it was great. And so was Zayn and AJ.
It's great too. I think just for personal reasons, I think I would pick Cesaro and Owens because it was also funny.
Kevin Owens has been hilarious.
Like that match had absolutely everything, and the other match is totally great too. But I just love that it covered everything, and Cesaro being hurt and coming back through it and getting stronger. But yeah, with Owens going out and flipping out and grabbing JBL's hat and like, sorry, John, I lost my temper.
And put it back.
Putting it back. Just little things like that just when you add that much more, you add more elements to a match that just make it even better rather than just, hey, we got to get in a bunch of moves and make it great. That way, playing out different emotions in it.
And
so good.
In the same regard, AJ and Zayn, the false finishes. By God. So good.
I like the, and maybe it's because I find myself a little more invested right now in the AJ storyline, but I think, like, for the same reasons that Kevin Owens is so strong and he's so enjoyable because he can talk and he can do all that stuff, WWE's finding these ways to put AJ in these situations where he doesn't have to talk because AJ's not the best talker, and they're still making him look like $1 million without doing so.
He makes himself look like that.
Which is why, like, for me, a match like that, it's like, yes, you're making AJ look so great, and I have a little bit of a personal bias towards the guy, just from our time at TNA together and stuff, but I just love how they're protecting him in that way,
And you're trying to grow your hair out like him too.
Yeah,
as we all know.
That's true.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
I knew it.
But yeah, that match, it's funny too, because when Shane made that match and said if Sami Zayn wins, it's going to be a triple threat for the World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm thinking, oh, all right, Zayn's going to pull this off. We will have a triple threat. Did not happen. So now I don't think there's anything stopping AJ from just being himself, only taking on Roman Reigns. Which at Payback, that's going to do that. Wherever the arena is going to be, it's going to be on fire during that match.
Oh, at the Payback Arena?
The Payback Arena. I don't know where it's going to be.
That's going to be such a pivotal moment for Roman Reigns, too.
Yep.
Like that's... you win at Mania, it's a big deal. Now you have the chance, but you don't have the crowd behind you. This is your chance to really prove something, and you couldn't be in the ring with... there's few people that you can always just know it's going to be a good match when they're in the ring,
To piggyback off of that, Dale, what do you think Zayn and Kevin Owens do from here? Because neither one of them are in a title match now.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, it's called Payback. The two of them have to go at it. And I do want to add that for Roman Reigns, I think it's smart booking on WWE's part. They know that they're going into it with a Roman Reigns problem, if you want to look at it that way. AJ only looks to benefit from everyone booing. They're going to cheer AJ whether they know him or not, just in a anti-Roman movement. So AJ can leave, probably not with the title if I had to guess, but he can leave that match showing how great he is in the ring and taking all the hype from the fans that are cheering him just to be anti-Roman Reigns, and hopefully run with that as well, because it's not like he needs any help for the guys that know him. They already love him, but there's still a large audience that this is their first time really being exposed to AJ. So I think it's a great way to kind of hit your trailer to his excitement that he's got going on.
But on the flip side of that, for all the people that aren't very familiar with AJ, imagine how big that would be if he won the title at Payback.
Oh my God!
And what that would do for, you know, whether you know him or not, you instantly take notice of him, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'd like to think AJ will win the title at some point, and I'd like to hope it's going to be at a massive, one of the biggest pay-per-views they have. But we are going to have Cesaro taking on The Miz now for the Intercontinental Championship. Welcome back, Maurice. My God, these two, yeah, they're married, and you know what? They are perfect for each other.
Only imported water, Johnny.
Only imported water, and
No blue M&Ms. No blue.
that's right. No blue M&Ms, by God.
You know, go ahead, Dale.
I was just gonna say this entire segment was fire or gold or liquid gold. If you combine fire and gold, I don't know what you want to say, but this was probably the best segment backstage for Raw in a very long time.
Yeah, and Cesaro comes in looking like a Secret Service agent.
That he took with that water.
Oh, wonderful. Timing. Their timing together as a couple is perfect. And even Cesaro came in, I love the earpiece, as if he's got someone talking to him. So great.
So is Zack Ryder out of the picture again now? Because that bothers me if he is.
I don't think so.
Like he has to interfere in that match and help Cesaro win or something, right?
Well, you would think Ryder should have a rematch clause.
He had his rematch on SmackDown, but they cheated.
Oh, that's right.
Right? They cheated to win, and then that's bullshit if he's out of the picture.
I don't think so.
I mean, I feel like he'll be involved in another way, but there's no reason to get mad about Zack Ryder winning at WrestleMania. I mean, it's much to what his social media has said. You can't take that away from him, and that'll be in the record books. I can't even imagine we weren't thinking about Zack Ryder at all on the main roster for a very long time. So even for him to come in, replace Neville, and win that title.
That's true.
It's amazing that he got to do that. So hopefully he gets more, but I think this has been a great storyline telling. But I will say when we cut to Miz with like the cucumbers on his face and Maurice complaining about domestic water, I was like, this isn't something Ryder would be able to pull off. I love Ryder to death, and I was super excited. I mean, we said last week I was jumping up and down like a little kid when Zack Ryder won that match. But this is something that Miz with Maurice is just pure magic, and I don't think he'd be able to give us this kind of storyline.
No, you're right. I mean, when it comes down to it, Zach's a great performer, but when it comes to character-wise, if you notice, anytime he does have the microphone, it's very short because he is limited, whereas the Miz and Maurice, they have an unlimited potential together, and they proved it in this segment last night. I mean, you look at the Miz now, you're like, all right, that guy is holding gold, and yeah, that fits.
I think I'd like to think that there's a lot of focus on WWE's part of building all the divisions. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of focus on tag, Intercontinental, just all these divisions and making contenders for it. So while sometimes it'll be the challenger there right away, sometimes like with a Zack Ryder, he's on that back burner chase. Like he's there and he will still be there.
And let us not forget, like you mentioned, that moment at WrestleMania, that was one of the top moments in WrestleMania. If any one of us had a chance for that moment, like...
my butt would explode.
I mean, really.
Speaking of WrestleMania for a minute, you guys, what is up? Why is Shane, like, not that I have a problem with it, but why is Shane running Raw again when the whole point of the match was, you know, like, that null and voids, like, everything that happened in that Hell in a Cell match, in my opinion. Like, it was a cool moments and stuff, but storyline-wise, what the fuck?
I think there's a story in place of something we just don't know yet.
Let's hope.
That there's, you know, at first it was Vince reacting to the crazy crowd and said, go ahead. And then now I'm wondering if, like the days of old when there was the board of directors and other people that can override Vince, because they're treating it like the WWE has proclaimed Shane will have another shot at running Raw. Like Vince didn't have a say.
That's how they explained it, was that the overwhelming reaction from social media was such that they gave Shane the show again for this week. So I think they're, you know, blowing up their own social outlets, but also saying, like, you have the power. You made so much noise about Shane. Mm-hmm. We're bringing him back. So I don't think, that match was, of course, storyline-wise, it was supposed to be for the control, but you couldn't have asked for a better match from those two guys. And as I think, Chuck, actually, you said previously, like, nobody wants to see Undertaker lose at WrestleMania again. So I think everybody kind of wins. You got what you wanted from Undertaker, and now you get what you wanted from Shane. Vince can make up his mind any way he wants to. It's his own stipulation in the first place. So storyline-wise, I don't think it really suffers in that way.
And it's like he said last week.
You people do and say nutty things.
And let's think about the fact that the former champion, the leader of the Authority, is now out of action. We have someone else trying to run Raw. Who's to say those two won't clash soon?
Yeah, we haven't heard anything from Steph or Triple H since WrestleMania.
So that could be something.
A lot of question marks. You mentioned trying to build certain divisions. Well, a tag team tournament is now underway, brought to you by Bootios. Oh, it's just so weird to say that. So we already had the Usos defeat the Social Outcasts. Those damn Dudleys defeated the Lucha Dragons. Coming up on SmackDown, we have Golden Truth versus the Vaudevillains. Enzo and Cass versus the Ascension. Right now, it looks like we have Enzo and Cass heading right towards the Dudleys in round 2.
Moment of the night last night. Bigger than Bullet Club. I mean, not bigger than them coming out and stuff, obviously, in the grand scheme of things. But, oh my God, when Enzo got that mic in his hands and he put the Dudleys in their place. Oh my God, man.
And you can't teach that.
Second week in a row.
I mean,
Second week in a row.
They're like they remind me so much of Road Dogg and Billy Gunn.
Yeah,
I mean, they're like Cass really is like Billy Gunn.
Cass can talk more than Billy Gunn did, though. It's just
when
he
they got the
doesn't,
same, and it's not a knock at them. It's great because that was such an over fun thing as a kid. You know, like if you didn't like chanting that with them when they would come out there and do the whole DX thing and then you just weren't having fun. And the crowds are into it, man. They are about.
They're the new age Italians. Pretty much what they are, which is fantastic. I mean, they could not have asked for a better debut over these past 2 weeks. They're just crushing it, and they're so fun to watch.
Do we know anything about Kalisto? Was he actually hurt in that match, or was that just a work?
I want to say it was more, for match purposes. At least that's what I'm hoping. So. Okay. And also,
you mentioned Boodio. I'd love that they made an entire graphic with rainbows and Bootios and unicorns just for this tournament. They are just loving themselves in New Day right now.
Yeah, just flat out says sponsored by
Bootios. I mean, if you don't own a box of Bootios at this point, just shame on yourself.
Shame him! Shame!
Or shame on WWE Shop Zone for not sending it.
Not actually selling cereal.
No, for not actually sending it.
Oh, right.
Ordered it a month ago.
You did?
Yeah.
And you don't have your box?
No reply from customer service either.
You don't have your box yet?
I don't have it. It's been a month. Damn. That's right. I'm going to send Ron Simmons after him.
You should. I think you'll have your box.
They were selling the T-shirts last night, but they didn't come with the box of Bootios.
That's just.
They couldn't keep them on the shelf at the Superstore.
Oh yeah.
Anytime I went there twice, and both times it looked like for an entire shelf that could shelved maybe like 200, there were 10 at a time.
Wow! A lot of merch.
My favorite shirt of theirs was where they're riding the unicorn anyway.
It's a great shirt.
A lot of merch, a lot of great stuff. NXT this week, it was pretty much just a recap of what happened at TakeOver Dallas, hosted by Kathy Kelly.
You mean the Kathy Kelly show?
The Kathy Kelly NXT hour is what it was. Her in studio just leading into the recap of TakeOver and what a show TakeOver was. But yeah, once again, congratulations to her because she did a hell of a job. And it was really, really fun to watch. So
they did save the Apollo Crews versus the Drifter match for that episode of NXT. That was the only new match that was aired that episode.
Yes, and speaking of a guy who's not exactly meshing with the audience, the Drifter.
The Drifter.
But we'll see what happens there.
Winner of the next year Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
He might be. You never know. There's a good chance
You're
he might be.
calling it now, Johnny.
You're calling it?
This guy doesn't work so well with me in the audience. Well, then he's gonna win.
Well, then let's bookmark this specific moment.
Got it.
Were you predicting it? Keep that.
He'll be out of a contract in 6 months.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Oh, then he'll be the drafter.
Oh, for God's sake. I don't even know what soundbite to hit after this. Just. All right, moving on.
It's generally the one I get.
Yeah, there you go. Impact Wrestling had some really good stuff this week. Drew Galloway defended against Matt Hardy. So many shenanigans, too many to even mention, but he found a way to defend. Jeff Hardy swanton on EY from the top of a steel cage through a table.
Those guys are getting really crazy with each other.
Well, Hardy always has been.
Right, but I'm saying, like, they're bringing it out of each other.
Yeah, you have EY doing multiple pile drivers on it, but Jeff Hardy broke his leg less than a year ago, and now he's still doing swantons
Jeff
off
Hardy
the top.
doesn't care, dude. Jeff Hardy's gonna be doing this till the day he can't walk anymore.
He's Gumby.
He's Mae Young.
He's Gumby. He literally is Gumby. He can do damn near anything, and he landed it to perfection. I mean, go back and watch.
Did you really just drop a Gumby reference?
Because you can stretch Gumby any way you
I don't
want.
think
It's now
half
on
of our,
DVD,
I don't
so
think half
Johnny's
of
very
our
excited.
listeners are old enough to even know what Gumby is.
Dale, everyone knows Gumby. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, I guess. I don't know. I know who Gumby is. All y'all know who Gumby is. So
See?
you're 4 for 4 at the moment.
Dale, you serving gumbo? Is that what's going on?
Wait,
I brought some rice.
Dale, why does this gumbo look green? I thought it was supposed to be like a soup.
And,
Did you put some of your hair in the gumbo? You're supposed to put your foot in it, not your hair.
and
in
you're
it.
having a side of pokey with it?
What?
Some Hawaiian pokey?
Yeah. Is it like a sushi? Why does this gumbo have eyeballs?
Hey, before we talk more about my neighbor, which I'm always in.
Yeah, we're done. Sorry, go ahead.
Vaudevillains, will be appearing for the second time on SmackDown.
Yes.
Golden Truth. So far that makes them a SmackDown exclusive tag team. Do you think that they're going to maybe do, now we've talked about the brand, split, but do you think that maybe they're going to do more things like that, where maybe some of the guys coming up just are always on SmackDown, or do you think it's just coincidental that they're kind of trying them out there to see how they go over, and then they'll move them to Raw during this bracketed situation, or what do you think?
I don't know. Maybe this could be a slow movement towards a brand split, or like you said,
I think it's more just to test them out, see how they do in front of a crowd like that. And I mean, they're not like a bad tag team, but they're not like amazing in the sense that, like, they're gonna be over instantly like an Enzo and a Cass, So
yeah,
I think it's more like to kind of introduce them to the audience that hasn't been watching NXT and kind of start to get a feel for them.
I think it's smart. Have reasons to get people to watch SmackDown.
Absolutely.
Flat out. Like, and if you're withholding guys from being on Raw for a while, or women, put them on there and advertise it.
And let us not forget, not only are the Vaudevillains moved up, that also meant our good friend Ryan Katz, as the introduction man for the Vaudevillains, he also got moved up.
Give me a hell yeah!
So there you go. With the little megaphone.
Yeah, no, I
okay.
know. Yeah, I just never met the guy.
Oh, I'm just saying, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That his little graphic or whatever you want to call it gets moved up.
He's very fitting for that role. It's very great. I keep hoping he gets to pop out there live at some point.
It'd be wonderful. That'd be really good. We're all pulling for that. Let's see. Back to TNA. We have a new Knockouts champion. Jade defeats Gail Kim and Madison Rayne. Jade has come a long way, and let's hope she breaks away from the Dollhouse, because they can't seem to keep a leader of the Dollhouse. They lost like 3 of them now. So
you used to
I
love the
thought that
Dollhouse.
I thought Maria was going to sort of step into that role, but she's just kind of acting managerial at this point.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it lost too much steam when Taryn Terrell left. She was so good.
Yeah, I agree.
So good.
But Maria is doing great over there. I think she's one of the best characters they have in TNA right now. She's so annoying and so easy to hate. It's perfect.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because Mike Bennett also crushed it. Him and EC3 had just a great back and forth on the microphone, and if this program is brewing, this could end up being one of the best feuds we see on television this year between EC3 and Mike Bennett, because Mike Bennett and Maria, like you said, they are both so good together, a great husband-wife team, chemistry's amazing, and you add EC3 into the mix, 2 guys in the prime of their career, this could be the feud to see, not only in TNA, but one of the best feuds we can see on TV.
Yeah, TNA is in need of some trash talkers and some people that can just really basically get some good clips going out on the internet. So if people on wrestling forums and stuff like that just start, posting clips of like, look at these guys trash talking each other. Like, what show is this on? And getting more eyes.
No doubt about that.
That's a good way to do it, because there's plenty of great matches everywhere. But if you can pull in something else, I think characters and trash talking are a way to go in TNA right now.
Yeah. And Dale, how good were they? I mean, those two together. It was almost, especially when Mike Bennett was talking, you really felt he believed everything he was saying. I really hope this could be the kind of feud, no titles involved. Two dudes just hate each other, and then Maria gets involved somehow. Could be great.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I think that could be definitely feud of the year. And I mean, he was such a smart signing for TNA. I mean, they brought in a lot of guys recently that I didn't really know a lot about. I was really keen on him and Maria in Ring of Honor, and I think this was definitely one of the best things they could do. And to throw him in with EC3, yeah, magic is headed our way.
And also, shout out to the Pope for having his first match in quite some time.
That's exciting.
Getting destroyed by Lashley, but still, it was fun.
4.5 years, he said. 4.5 years since he's been in the ring.
Good for Pope.
Pope is such an entertaining wrestler.
He is.
Do you guys remember when he was like, I think it was, they gave him like, when he came to WWE?
Elijah Burke?
Yeah, and he was with that like Rusev-like character.
Sylvester Terkay.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he also involved?
He used to be in UPW, that guy.
Wasn't he also involved with the vampire kind of...
they were part of
Mordecai?
the New Breed. I think he actually had a WrestleMania match where it was the New Breed versus the ECW originals. I think that was the biggest.
Yeah, Kevin Thorne is who you're thinking of.
Thank you, Kevin Thorne. Yeah, something together.
Yeah, him, Stryker, Thorne, and I'm kicking myself for the other one. But yeah, he was part of the new ECW group of guys, and yeah, he was great.
I mean, he was a fantastic wrestler, and I don't remember why they let him go, but when he came to TNA, he used to put on great matches. So
good character,
great entrance.
Hopefully, this isn't just like a one and done. Like, all right, you got destroyed by Lashley, you're off TV again. Hopefully, this is like, all right, recollect the pieces. Let's see him wrestle some more because the guy can go.
Pope's the kind of guy you can invest in. I love.
And he can talk.
I love his character. I like how he talks about himself in the third person. And, on commentary, he's mostly awesome. He has his moments where you're like, wait, what? But as far as a personality goes, hell, I like him a lot. I always have.
Yeah, Pope's always been fun. And they teased it a little while back, like it wasn't a match, but he popped up in one of their battle royals one time and was quickly eliminated. But everybody got really excited when, the countdown hit, and then he takes the jacket off and
he's got great music too. When that music hits, you get kind of excited. Just the horns involved. It really adds. It's perfect for his character, whatever that may be. Now I don't know if we're gonna go full on Pope from here on out, but just any dude that calls himself the Pope, how could you not be on board with that?
The Pope.
The Pope.
I'm all about the Pope.
And D'Angelo De Niro. That might be just one of my most famous, fun names in wrestling.
Yeah, he's got all the tools. It's all there.
There it is. Lucha Underground, really quick, because we got to get to our next interview. A lot of amazing Robert Rodriguez-style segments this week. We had one with Dario Cueto and Vampiro, Joey Ryan being a cop. We had a really cool backstory on Killshot. Mac and Sexy Star had a cool little thing. And then, of course, our man, Famous B, spitting that game, making you call that number, 423-GET-FAME. And then
Did you call it yet?
We actually have called it.
Yeah.
We called it, a bunch of us called from Championship Wrestling. It's a real phone number. It goes to voicemail. It's a voicemail of Famous B. If you call 423-GET-FAME, you will get a voicemail from Famous B, and you could leave him a voicemail.
Did you?
Yeah, we all did.
Oh, nice.
A bunch of us did. It was great.
Listeners, send those voicemails.
Go ahead, call 423-GET-FAME. Tell them that we sent you.
That's right. Yeah, mention the show. Tell them Famous B's got to get on here.
We should get Famous B on here.
Right, but the listeners should let them know, like, hey, listen to Compadres, and you better show up on there.
You know what?
And get fame.
You know what? I'm going to get on that. I'm going to reach out to Famous B. I'm going to call that number. And we're going to get him on the show.
Make it happen, Johnny.
Hashtag get fame.
Yeah, maybe he'll help us.
Yeah. Or we'll help him.
Maybe we'll get fame.
Maybe we'll get fame. Dale, you want to get some fame?
Dale's already
you saw
famous.
What magic he worked with that woman who was obviously so ugly before she met Famous B.
Yeah.
That means it's on, y'all.
We got to get him. The Trios tournament started. Joey Ryan, Cisco, and Castro defeated Marty the Moth, Mariposa, and the Mac, because the Mac hates Marty. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Azteca are going to be teaming up with Prince Puma. Puma spoke for the first time ever in the history of the show.
Yeah, and no Kane voice box either. That's what I was expecting.
Nope.
Puma hates fire.
That definitely was not it.
Oh, my.
Dale.
It's funny that they alter Son of Havoc's voice, but not Prince Puma.
Nope. That's a good point. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see. So those three are going to be in the Trios tourney. And the Monster Matanza defeated Phoenix, but Mil Muertes and Katrina end up making the save. So once again, a lot of compelling storylines. And You know, they mentioned that a lot of characters you didn't see a lot from in Season 1 were going to get their shine in Season 2, and that is certainly coming to fruition. A lot of people we like, we're learning a lot more about them, and it's, once again, compelling television.
Oh,
I think their best move this whole season, as far as new storylines go, was when they put the title on Phoenix. It was a pretty short reign, but
Yep.
I mean that guy deserved it so much. And then they made it that Aztec Warfare, you would win the title, not the #1 contendership. But I think they're doing so many interesting things and really building their own stars and making them exactly that. I mean, good on Lucha all the way around.
Yeah, now the Monster Matanza is Dario Cueto's brother, but of course we saw the situation with the cops. They're on the hunt for Dario Cueto to try to get information from him. So there's obviously stories that we don't know yet, but it's very intriguing stuff. And, man, those backstage segments, or whatever you want to call them, are really, really well done. So good on them.
I think even Dale's neighbor would enjoy it.
I think he would. He'd be really confused, though. He would have no clue what he was watching.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
He can barely handle regular wrestling. I don't think Lucha would help him out.
So wait, police officers wrestle? How's that work?
Wait, I don't understand. I'm supposed to go to Puerto Rico, but it's underground?
Yeah.
With lunches?
Can I get dog biscuits at home, Dale? Do you have a dog? Do you have biscuits?
Lunchables underground.
Oh, no.
I want no blue M&Ms, please.
My bad. All right, with that said, should we get to our Wrestling Memes interview?
Oh, Mr. Tom Anstey.
Yeah, there you
Mr.
go.
Wrestling
Talk about him.
Memes. It's a very weird world, wrestling, because I had the privilege of a couple years back now that Tom and I just happened to stumble across each other's projects. Like, I was following wrestling memes and enjoying them, facebook.com/wrestling memes, and on Twitter, wrestling_memes, and he liked curtain jerks. He stumbled across my podcast, and then we just got to talking on the internet, and then, he said there's a TNA world tour that was happening over in England, and then he invited me out, and we just struck up a friendship. And so,
great guy.
It's amazing how WrestleMania is like this reunion for everybody, for wrestlers and for fans and for people to just meet all over the world in this one setting, and it's becoming bigger and bigger every year. So he was out there, so we all sat down for a conversation.
Yeah, we all just hung out and we happened to record it. So find him on Twitter at wrestling_memes.
Mm-hmm.
And with that said, enjoy the conversation. We'll be back.
Tom, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Hello, Scott. How are you?
We know each other quite well. I've stayed at your flat.
Yes, and you found it hilarious when you bought a packet of faggots.
I sure did.
Whoa, what kind of show are we doing?
Now I'm wide awake. Anyways, here we are. It's Johnny.
To be correct, that's actually a type of food in England.
Oh, I thought it was cigarettes.
No, it's like pig brains in a ball. They're not very nice.
I thought it was a bundle of sticks.
It's also that.
It is also a bundle of sticks.
Yeah,
okay,
but
good.
It's a type of horrible processed food in England.
Okay.
That nobody eats, and Scott bought them.
Don't they
it was
only
funny.
have horrible processed food in England? I thought that was the thing.
Hey, you don't do real sausages in America, so I'll
you
have
haven't
you know.
seen my social life.
Yeah.
No.
I got the microphone taken away from me for that. For what he said. Did you say that?
You talking to me or Dale?
Yes.
Both of you.
Oh, okay. By the way, Bill Handstock is here. Let him say hello.
Oh, hey, everybody. How's it going?
Good. Bill's exhausted after interviewing Jim Ross for an hour.
Is that real?
I'm exhausted from eating a cookie.
I had half a cookie. I fed you the other half.
You're welcome.
It was quite romantic. I watched it happen.
Yeah, well, look at us sitting together here, just like old chums.
Bundle of sticks, you two.
A couple of bundle of sticks.
A couple of processed foods over here.
Yep. Just a couple of packed sausages.
Reined it in.
Mm-hmm.
Reined it in.
Yes, we did. So, Tom, tell us about yourself. Obviously, you already know Scott, which we apologize for that. But where...
Chuck.
Well, that's okay. Where in England are you from?
I am from Hertfordshire, which to Americans is I live north of London.
Oh,
So-
London. Yeah,
London.
London.
Yeah.
Have you heard of London,
Yeah.
Scott?
Yeah, I've been there, Johnny.
He went there with me. We had a good time.
Well, we did. We went.
we did a
I
whole
went
road trip.
specifically for the TNA UK tour, 2012 or 13.
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was when MVP debuted.
Yeah, so I think,
you
I think it was
went.
2 years ago.
You went to England to see TNA.
Yeah. So here's what happened. Tom and I just were fans of one another. Like, he knew of curtain jerks that I was doing, and then I knew of wrestling memes, so we got to chatting. And Tom was very kind and said, like, "Yeah, you should come over for the tour." I'm like, "Well, yeah, that'd be great and all." And then you said, "Well, you can stay at my flat." And I go, "Really?" And so, like, cutting out housing and renting a place, And then it's like, yeah, we'll get tickets to the show. We'll do some interviews, and it'll happen. And so let's strike up a friendship over the internet, over the love of wrestling.
Love
and
that
went for a
internet.
TNA UK tour.
Was he a listener of Curtain Jerks? Is that how you guys got to know each other?
I was in the Maldives, incredibly bored.
Your life sounds really hard already.
No, so I was working. It was a bit random, but I was working as the editor of a paper in the Maldives for 6 months. And the thing about the Maldives is it's not as nice as everybody thinks. And the main capital, Male, is just a 1 mile square island with all high-rise buildings. It's like the most densely populated area on Earth. Like 400,000 people live there, but there's nothing to do. So I was like, let's have a look at what wrestling podcasts there are. And I was like scrolling through. I was like, oh, Curtain Jerks, that looks interesting. And then, as Scott has his very interesting guest, should we say?
Sure.
Air quote
guest.
Yes.
I don't know
Open
what you're on
door
about.
policy.
You mean he gets Vince McMahon on every week? What are you on about? So I was like, yeah, it's really good. And I think I messaged you. It's like, I've listened to like 10 of these in a row. This is amazing. And from there it kind of blossomed.
Yeah. And
to the point where now I find myself interviewing wrestlers and then go, Scott, I've got this interview, and we send him over to Scott.
Yeah, and then we've had you on the show as well.
Yeah,
it was wild. And then you showed me the UK. So we went to which shows did we go to? We went to
we did Progress.
Right, we went to Progress Wrestling.
Yeah, which is a lot of people will have heard
8?
about now. It might have been Chapter 8.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah.
And then we went to the 2 shows, Wembley.
Yeah, we did Wembley and Manchester, I think.
Yes, Wembley and Manchester. And those were super fun. And the crowd is so different in the UK than it is in the States. And at the time we're recording this, obviously we'll feel that energy tonight at Raw with so many of the UK in attendance. That gives it such a different vibe.
I'm so excited.
Something new is always born at that Raw. Whether WWE likes it or not, the crowd is going to make something
The
happen.
birth of Epico.
If I recall correctly, didn't the John Cena, the most creative John Cena sucks chant begin 2 years ago after WrestleMania?
There was that one there, and then I'm now thinking of the UK. There's also the UK Raw a couple of weeks later, which is quite similar, where we had the birth of the Fireflies. That was the UK, which obviously you're looking at WrestleMania and it's 100,000 people with torches was unbelievable. Then what else have you had at that Raw?
Well, also jump into while you're thinking of that. We also watched the Royal Rumble the year that Batista won.
Yeah, we watched it in a bar with about 400 people.
And everybody was chanting, John Cena sucks, there at the pub. And I was blown away by it. And then shortly thereafterwards, the UK crowd got in front of John Cena, and they did it. It's so, things happen not even at a live wrestling show. It's just like that's the energy of a UK crowd.
The UK, obviously, we get our football chants, as in soccer football, the real football. And then, as a result, we do a lot of, at these kind of events, we do a lot of singing, a lot of chanting, which maybe is less so in America.
Yeah, no, the English football crowds are super good at singing.
Yeah.
And all, being totally on the same page. Soccer crowds are so good at chants, overall. They make football a lot of fun. And it's part of, being a fan of football and being a supporter of a club is you sing these chants. And I was really bummed at TakeOver. The only reason I was ever bummed at TakeOver was because the Gable and Jordan chants sung to the tune of the Kurt Angle theme is a really awesome chant. But at this point, American crowds can't get on the same pitch at the same time. So now it's just Gable, clap, clap, Gable, clap, clap, Gable, clap. And now it's just this toneless, just sad thing instead of the Gable.
Yeah, the takeover in London was unbelievable. I've never experienced anything like that. With the Hey Bailey chant. When that was happening live, I was I cannot stand the Hey We Want Some Bailey chant.
No.
I end up in a torrent of rage.
Yes. The Two Live Crew, have you heard of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, not exactly the most fan-friendly or family-friendly song you should be chanting about.
It's one of my very least favorite chants in wrestling.
Can't stand it.
And it's even more infuriating when Bailey's not on the apron.
Yeah.
At least she was on the apron in a tag match. It was a little bit understandable, especially because I think a lot of people who are making that chant are thinking that they're referencing the New Day.
Yeah.
And the people who know better are even worse. And I'll punch them all in the face.
Look, I love Two Live Crew. Always have. There's a place for Two Live Crew.
Yeah,
and in a live wrestling show, it's not that place.
But if she's in a singles match and you're like, hey, no, you want some? She's
She's
right
over
there.
mate.
Look.
Where is the proper place for Two Live Crew, Johnny?
Preferably at
somewhere where someone has headphones.
Yep.
And the Soup Plantation.
Soup Plantation plays nothing but Two Live Crew on a loop.
That's true. But the alternate was Hey Hey Bailey, which I love that. That
Much better.
was so good, and like you could see her in the ring like tearing up. And it was amazing.
So tell us about the birth of wrestling memes. Like, when did you get started, and how was it inspired you?
Back to the Maldives. I was incredibly bored. And I actually had a previous page, which was the Booker T drinking game, which had about 1,000 likes. And it was, it's just when Booker T would say one of his catchphrases, you'd have a drink, sort of thing.
Which will get you drunk real quick, I'm sure, at any point in his career.
It was a
Go
very
back in the
dangerous
archives
game.
of the
We learned
podcast.
we learned it was a very dangerous game, but it really was a fun game. But then I was like, just getting into sort of like discovering what memes were as a thing, and I was like, I wonder if there's a wrestling one. Oh, there isn't. Maybe I should do it. Oh, people like this, and as a result, like now, if you look at like you search for wrestling memes, there's 8,000 pages with different names and stuff. But at the time, there was maybe one or two.
When is this?
This is 2012, I want to say. Yeah, 2012.
That's impressive. I just found out what a meme was 2 weeks ago.
Well, there you go.
Not that impressive knowing you.
It was at the bottom of a cookie jar.
But yeah, like so as a result, it's just kind of a thing where I was the only guy offering it, and I was funny enough that people liked me, I guess. So, and it's just grown from that, and then more people have started discovering it, and then like you get a few wrestlers suddenly going, "Oh, this is a good thing," and they like Mick Foley is like my biggest supporter, it seems, and he shares it quite a lot. And as well,
when
people
has
like
he
that.
had you on his podcast, Tom?
Exactly. No, this is my favorite podcast. I will say, I listen every week, so I'm very excited to be
Curtain
here.
Jerks or us?
Both.
Okay, good.
Both. It was
Take that,
to be
Mick.
fair. It was Scott saying I'm on this podcast this week that brought me here, but I have never looked back. So.
We appreciate it. We're obviously a big fan, and so we've been talking for quite a long time about having you on and us hanging out. And sure enough, it's WrestleMania 32 is the way we've done it.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, I live in England, so it's a bit far usually. But
North of London.
North of London, yes, just half an hour on the train.
We never look back at Scott either, so it's very, very similar.
Well, I'm always curious. We talk about this from time to time. You go through these waves of, who you find to be a point of interest, like Heath Slater being one of the biggest ones to start.
Oh, I love my Heath. I've still never met him. It really annoys me. I love Heath Slater so much.
Bo Dallas being another one.
Yep.
And there's always, I'm always anticipating the next chosen person. And talk about your process with that of like, who it is that interests you and becomes that next focal point of meme to you.
Well, I guess it just tends to be who I really like at the time, and it's never usually I like the main guys. I like some obscure guy nobody else likes. Like Heath Slater was a guy that everyone was completely like, no, I don't like him. He's rubbish. What's he? I'm like, look at him. He's amazing. I did Slater's Gonna Slate was the thing I came up with in 2012. And that got so popular to the point where he once said it on an episode of Raw, and I was like, "Oh my god, he just said the thing I came up with." And like once I made it a joke that was, it was when Paul Heyman was talking about the streak ending, and it was knock knock, who's there? Mike who? Mike Lyon, Brock Lesnar conquered the Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. Tweet that to Heyman. About 3 or 4 hours later on Raw, Paul Heyman comes out and goes, "Knock knock." I was like, "No,
no, he didn't.
No,
he used your meme
and he went,
on Raw.
Mike. I was like, "You bastard, Heyman." And he just said it word for word. I was like,
It's a nice compliment,
it's
though.
A really, yeah, like there was like I was speaking actually this week to a Raw writer who will remain anonymous, but who had said like, "Oh, I really like wrestling memes." I was like, "That's the time you were working there when I was being paranoid that you were putting a load of my stuff on Raw. Like, it's not never anything important, but random little like rubbish jokes."
Did you say that to him?
No, I did not say that to him. I was being, I'm a polite British person, so I'm like, well, yes, that sounds brilliant. Yes.
I feel like that happens in comedy a lot too. Don't people kind of jokes?
People steal in comedy all the time, and then again, people steal in wrestling all the time.
It's weird. I seem to have quite a powerful influence, but for nothing important. like Fandango, for example. The Fandango Revolution hashtag that almost went to number 1 in the UK. I started that as a joke, and suddenly he's like number 12 in the UK charts, and it's like, what's going on.
So what do you mean?
When the whole Fandangoing thing was going on,
his entrance music, I heard the
yeah.
So
I was like, oh, why don't we see if we can get this up the UK charts
on iTunes?
Yeah, on iTunes. And within a day of that, I said, okay, let's use the hashtag Fandango Revolution. Let's see how far it can go. Let's see what we can do. And I was like, maybe it'll get like top 100 or something if something happens. And I wake up the next morning and it's like, I think it got as high as number 3 on iTunes and dropped out. But there was a thing in the UK, this was, where it was like about 44 on the overall charts. And it was like, if it gets into the top 40, they play it on Radio 1, which is like the national radio station.
Wow.
And it was like, oh my God, he might. And it would have been the first song to hit the charts without any lyrics in it since 1912, I think.
What?
And it missed out by 256 sales. And I was like, oh no. But it was like, when we got really obsessed with it for a few days while this was happening, it was like, what can we do? What can we do to keep it going? Like, oh, let's get to play it in football stadiums and things like that. And like, that's when, do you see the whole thing with Fandango and Everton Football Club that happened? There was a whole thing where Everton for American listeners, Premier League club, so top division club, and they refused to play his music, and then Fandango started yelling at them via Twitter.
What?
And then it eventually became a thing where Fandango was going to Everton wearing their kit and stuff like that. And then during that week on Raw, you've got the commentary team talking about when the Fandango Revolution, they didn't call it that, but when it's been happening, and they're like labeling the things that I've done on social media that week, and I'm like, I did all that, that's really weird. So that's what I mean. I have influence, but over nothing remotely important.
I beg to differ. I mean, those are big moments over the last number of years that all of us kind of remember. So those are important moments.
Fandango would like you to get him trending again, I'm sure, at this point.
And Jim Johnston wants to win a Grammy somehow, and that's probably the closest he was ever going to get.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's very, I guess, humbling, but it's weird. I always find it weird when like somebody's like, oh, yeah, that's an awesome thing.
Do you have any kind of comedy writing background, or this is something that you just started doing on a whim?
I think it's a case of I make 80 terrible jokes and 20 good ones. But the good ones are the ones that end up online. So, yeah, no, I've never done any specific comedy or anything like that. Like, my day job is a journalist, so, like, there's nothing that's specifically gone.
Well, there's creative writing involved in that.
Yeah,
so,
there's creative writing. Like, I've done a bit of radio in the past and things like that, but I'd never specifically tried to be a funny person. It was just, I guess I turned out to be funny on occasion, which is, it's been very interesting, put it that way.
Have you had a chance to monetize? Because, I mean, Wrestling Memes has quite a big following on Facebook and Twitter.
Well, like I've got a bit of a deal going on with, I've had a deal going on with Squared Circle Ringwear for a while, so if I come up with an idea for a T-shirt, I say, let's do this, and that's why I currently have, what's my current T-shirt? Oh, it's a Jimmy King, Induct King T-shirt.
From Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, Ready to Rumble, my favourite film of all time.
Oh, the classic.
So I've got a T-shirt that
cinematic
says
masterpiece.
Yeah. So Jimmy King needs to be in the Hall of Fame. Probably more deserving than some people in the Hall of Fame. But that's just when I come up with an idea, I do something like that. I think I'm setting up a website soon. I really should have about 3 years ago, but yeah, I haven't specifically gone out of my way to monetize. But
well, in a way, your Facebook page is kind of a free website. You have 150,000.
Yeah, I've got 150,000 on Facebook and about 50,000 on Twitter.
That's
yeah, it's not bad, I suppose.
Hey, we're not shaking a bundle of sticks at that.
You know, I did find it was quite fun. I was at WrestleMania and I'm looking around, like the first WrestleMania ever. I'm looking around like, 93,000, not 100,000, 93,000 people. Like, yeah, I've got more fans. It's good to have people that like my stuff, I guess, because.
And this isn't your first time in America either. You came in Florida, or no?
Well, I
SummerSlam.
I find myself in America quite a lot at the moment, but it seems to be mostly for work. But I did go to
right. This is work.
No, this isn't work. This is
research.
This is holiday.
Pretending it's work.
No. I as a journalist, I've done like a few conferences and stuff in the US. But I came to SummerSlam last year, which was my first US pay-per-view. And that was obviously in New York, and that was really good. And then I'm going to WrestleMania this year. Now, next year I'll be going to WrestleMania because I'm the best man for a wedding 3 days before WrestleMania. So I'm definitely going to WrestleMania now.
Did this friend know that WrestleMania was good?
Oh yeah, they're massive wrestling fans.
Oh, good. So he's a good friend.
Yeah. He's actually, they are English, but they were like, so we're going to be doing our wedding in Orlando. I was like, is it around WrestleMania? Possibly.
Genius.
So so I'm the best man for that. So I definitely have to go to WrestleMania next year. But it's been a very interesting week in general. And
since you're a flavor maker.
I like that.
I want to know what are you hoping happens on Raw tonight?
I hope that you're all going to hate me. I love Baron Corbin. I hope Baron Corbin destroys everyone.
Baron Corbin is extremely my shit, so don't be
right. Baron Corbin
trying to hold Johnny down.
Baron Corbin
stay down.
You know what? I don't have the hatred because Aries beat him at TakeOver, so I'm totally happy with that.
Baron Corbin is the best heel in NXT. He's the best heel in NXT. I'm doing a high five there.
A high five between Bill and Tom right there. Country's coming together.
Oh, wait, I beg to. I mean, he's better than Samoa Joe. Come on. Better
Are
than
we
Samoa
talking
Joe?
in the ring, or we're just talking
as
how to hate him?
Yeah, I love the whole, like, he just beats up some random small guy and is like, go back to Ring of Honor. He wasn't in Ring of Honor.
I love what
he's taken the character of somebody who doesn't know anything about wrestling, and he's done that on purpose. He's just gone as a big, okay, they want me to be a big bad football guy. Okay, I'll be a big bad football guy.
I do agree. He's progressed a lot, and he had a really good Instagram post on Friday about Aries. He goes, tonight I'm going to take a guy and send him back to the Indies where he came from or something.
Yeah. It's amazing. I love it so much. And he's got my favorite finisher as well. I love that move. In fact, to the point where if you watch TakeOver London, when Baron is wrestling Joe, I was in about the 6th row to the point where, like, I would keep popping up next to the time anyone would say anything.
You're gigantic Brit.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, that people should know. You're not a small dude.
Yeah, I'm 6'4" and a bit. Yeah. So, like, I would keep getting tweets saying, "I've just seen you on TV. I've just seen." But
Baron make it sound like it was a lady. Like, oh, I've seen you on TV.
But Baron Corbin is about to. The match is going on between Baron Corbin. And I stood up and I yelled, and you can hear it on the thing. I went, "Do a fatality!" And he immediately hit his finisher and won. And you can just see the whole crowd just sitting down and me jumping up and down with joy in the background. And I was like, "Yes, Baron." I'm a massive Baron fan.
I had a similar moment this weekend because I got to watch the entire NXT tapings at Access on Saturday. And so next week, within the next 3 weeks, when you see Eva Marie wrestle Asuka, and then within the first minute of the match, there's someone yelling, "Yeah, Eva Marie, you rule!" That is me. Because I love Eva Marie, and in a completely silent arena,
the thing is, I've never heard you raise your voice ever.
Oh, no, I get really
Yeah, no, every time you're just so cool, calm, and collected. I'm like, I don't think Handstock ever gets riled up ever in life.
No, whenever I really care about shouting something at a wrestling event, you will hear me. So I'm just praying they don't edit that out because I want that to. I want to be known as like, oh, that's the Eva Marie guy from the NXT taping.
I'm sure she would love that as well.
If you started wearing a red wig, you could be the Eva Marie guy.
I have seen. I did see at Access a man fully dressed as Eva Marie. It was mentally scarring, but amazing at the same time.
Eva Manry.
Eva Manry. Yeah, it was.
Future meme.
Terrifying. Eva Manry.
Were you surprised to see Baron Corbin at Mania then?
I'd heard he was going to be there.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, Baron Corbin, cool. And he was there, but I was like, oh, I hope I call him Corbs now.
Corbs,
I hope Corbs wins. And I was like, is Corbs actually going to win? Oh my God, Corbs won! So I was like, I was jumping up and down. And
do you know if he has a brother? There was a very large dude that looked very similar to him wearing a Baron Corbin T-shirt at ringside for his match. So I feel like maybe he could be getting the wrestling bug too. I'm not sure.
He magically appeared just before the Battle Royal and magically was whisked away right after the Battle Royal.
He walked, if you mean magical.
Brother of
Laren Corbin. But yeah, the only thing that surprised me, because obviously on NXT he just gets booed out of the building.
Right.
He got such a loud cheer at WrestleMania. Like, they loved the fact that he won. Which
I think it was just an NXT guy representing the brand, maybe.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, who are you going to choose, him or Kane?
Right. I mean, Kane doesn't need anything at this point.
I was glad Corbin won too. And
given the
running
options.
joke on this show is that Johnny hates Baron Corbin. It's like, no, I did. I hated his character, but now he's come a long way. And
interesting.
Snarky he's become.
We've got some Baron Corbin lovers in the room, and now he's kind of backpedaling a little.
Welcome. Welcome to the Corbs section.
I'm not there yet. Nope, I'm sitting somewhere behind it.
You got the cheap seats on the Corb section.
With Laren.
I'm sitting back with his cousin Laren.
I don't even really like him that much. It's just I'm here because he got me a free ticket.
But I will take a large T-shirt, thank you.
Why is there a wolf on my T-shirt? I don't even know what's going on.
I'm more of a dolphin guy.
Yeah, I like dolphins because they hug you in the water. You know, you ever get hugged by a dolphin?
What in the?
I'm so confused.
Johnny's on something this weekend.
Thing or
no,
getting hugged by
no,
dolphins?
don't.
No, we break off into random characters for no reason.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, you see how I say regular listener. I know this well.
Have you met Dale's neighbor yet?
I have not met Dale's neighbor.
No one has.
Okay.
Yeah. So what else can we put over for you? Like what are you working on now?
Oh God. Well, Go Like Wrestling Memes on Facebook. Go Like Wrestling Memes on Twitter. You can follow me, I guess. I'm at the Tom Anstey. Although I mostly tweet about non-wrestling stuff because that's what memes is for. What else is there? Buy my T-shirts. Go to Squared Circle Ringwear, and that's about it, I think. Nice. As far as I know.
All right. Well, if you're ever in north of London, why don't you hit up Wrestling Memes?
No, half an hour north of London. If you're in
north of
Hitchin
London.
specifically.
Or if you want to go to a wedding next year around WrestleMania time.
True.
You looking for a +1?
Yeah, I'm the best man. I could get a +1. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to dance with somebody.
Yeah. They're pointing at Scott. I'm scared.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
pointing at
So
me.
scared.
I imagine Narver, you'd probably be going, I would think.
And a good dancer.
I'm a very good dancer at weddings. No
Scott,
inhibitions.
do you want to be my +1?
I do.
All right, I'll bring Scott. Oh, also, I suppose well, technically not, but I should plug Curtain Jokes, really, because I do the interviews on it. So, yeah, I sometimes bring the likes of, who have I brought in, Scott? Blue Pants?
Well,
you know,
Rockstar Spud.
Will that be Rockstar Spud, yes.
Blue Pants, yes.
There should be a lengthy argument with Blue Pants coming up, or may have already come up at this point.
EC3.
EC3, Jeff Jarrett, Bully
That's right,
Ray.
doing corporate speak. I love it.
Yeah.
Jared doing corporate speak is my favorite. Well, Tom, thanks for that question.
Yeah.
He's here now.
Let me consider it.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Going through every mind like.
Oh, and then
Global Force is a thing.
Yeah, and then Endless Jimmy Havoc, obviously.
Yes.
Who
Jimmy.
I've been sharing a bed with for a week.
With England's most hated heel, you've shared a bed with.
He hogs the covers.
That's why he's not your +1 for the wedding, huh?
He is a rather interesting human being. I would like to meet him someday.
Oh, I love Jimmy, but he's terrifying. But it's all right if he's your friend. But
I will say this: that match he had with Abyss was phenomenal.
oh yeah, you need to. Well, this is here's another plug. It's not for me, but Progress Wrestling. If you haven't watched it, like WWE have now hooked up with them for the Global Cruiserweight Series, things like that.
Oh.
Progress Wrestling is, I think, the best promotion in England. It's so good. You can like get it. I think they're on demand at the moment, and Jimmy was. He was basically linked with the rise of them. When he became a bad guy for them, he had a near 2-year run with the title, and it's such good wrestling. Like when he loses the title, spoiler, it was about 6 months ago now, but it was like one of the best wrestling matches I've ever seen. It's so good. So you should check out Progress.
From what I understand with Jimmy Havoc, when you talk about guys that have no fear, he
is fearless. Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's injured at the moment, but hopefully he'll be back fighting fit soon.
I don't think that'll affect his attitude one bit, though.
No, yeah. If you get the Jimmy eyes, you get some. He can somehow become terrified and angry by just changing his eyes slightly.
So can Scott.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Oh, that looks like gas.
Yeah. Scott looks
It
constipated.
stems from gas.
Find him on Twitter
Yeah.
at Wrestling Memes. Look up Facebook.com/Wrestling Memes.
Yep.
And he's Tom from Wrestling Memes. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, that's the second interview of the show. What a jam-packed episode it was. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Once again, we are at Wrestling Buds on Twitter. We're Facebook.com/Wrestling Buds. And what a lovely fellow Mr. Wrestling Memes is.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's got the best memes on the internet.
He really does.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really creative, and, you know, they get viral.
Oh, they get viral.
They get real viral.
They get real viral.
Which is pretty cool. Dale Rutledge, what you got to say? You want to put yourself over?
Sounds good, buddy. You can follow me at The Walking Dale on Instagram and Twitter. You can also check out my movie-themed recipes on youtube.com/dishingonmovies.
Scotty Narver.
You can follow me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks, and you can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, available on iTunes and SoundCloud. And this week was a gigantic episode where it was saying goodbye to my co-host of 5 years, Steve Sears.
Damn!
like jam-packed, epic episode, and emotional at the end. So it's a real treat. So go check that out.
Indeed. Chug Rice.
You can find me on Twitter at crice17. You can find me on Instagram at Chuck Rice. Scott, who's gonna be stepping into the booth then?
I don't know. It's a mystery. It's an open door policy, so who knows who'll stop by.
Wow, open door policy?
Yeah, that's what I have on my show.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Like I said, at Wrestling Buds on Twitter, Facebook.com/Wrestling Buds. Please hit up our Facebook page. The next Championship Wrestling from Hollywood TV taping is Sunday, April 24th. It's going to be fantastic. Of course, hit us up on social media for that. I'm at Jay Quasto. Wednesday, April 27th, I'm headlining the Brea Improv in SoCal. If you're anywhere there, hit me up. I will hook you up with some tickets. It's going to be such a fun night, and I'm really looking forward to it. Also, I'm going to be back east in June. So if you're anywhere near Pennsylvania or New Jersey, I'm headlining the Arts Quest in Bethlehem on Wednesday, June 15th. So that's an early heads up there. Other than that, hell, it's been a fun show. Thank you so much to Apollo Crews. Thank you to Mr. Wrestling Memes. And thank you, every single person, for listening and watching. We really appreciate you, and we will see you next week.